If you want to talk about signs of trouble for Democrats in 2024, we can talk about them, and we have. If you want to talk about signs of trouble for Republicans in 2024, we also should be talking about them. And here is an absolutely fascinating one. The Intercept reports about a stunning poll out of Nebraska where an independent union leader challenger candidate is currently ahead of the incumbent Republican senator in the very, very red state of Nebraska. Take a look at this. With Senate control hanging in the balance, Nebraska Democrats are considering backing Dan Osborn in his challenge against Republican Senator Deb Fischer. Dan Osborn is a 48-year-old military veteran who helped lead the 2021 strikes against Kellogg's, who has launched the challenge against the 72-year-old Nebraska Republican Senator Deb Fischer. Deb Fischer is the incumbent. She's currently the senator. A poll conducted by Change Research, admittedly a liberal polling firm, shows Osborn leading Fischer by 2 points. Nebraska has voted for a Republican for president every year since 1964. And this shows that respondents plan to vote for Trump over Biden by a margin of 16. And yet, Osborn leads Fischer 40-38. Fischer has been a senator for a decade. She's on the Armed Services Committee. She's on the Agricultural Committee. So let's talk about this. First and foremost, this is a liberal polling firm. So you could say, well, it's probably not accurate. Fine, maybe it's not accurate, but at least it tells us that this is competitive. Secondly, this isn't a Democrat. We're talking about an independent. That's absolutely true, but this is a pro-union independent. This is arguably a sort of left-leaning independent, at least on economic issues, also a military veteran. If someone, we talk about who could defeat a Republican in West Virginia that's to the left of Joe Manchin. Well, we don't know. But certainly the type of person that might be able to win in a deeply red state like Nebraska would be a centrist, pro-union independent with a military background. That's actually super interesting. So then the question for Democrats becomes, and this is already the question Democrats in Nebraska are asking, if indeed an actual left-wing Democrat doesn't stand a chance here, is our best bet to dislodge a recalcitrant Republican from the Senate, going with an independent like Osborn? And I think the idea is maybe yes. Under the circumstances, it probably does make sense for Democrats to say, hey, this is who we're going to support. The only caveat to this would be, would this guy be hurt by Democrats coming out in his favor? Needless to say, anybody who is suggesting that the 2024 election is some kind of foregone conclusion clearly isn't paying attention. Now, that doesn't mean that it will be a good election for Democrats. It very well may be, or it may not be. But the important thing to consider is that with such a small margin in the House of Representatives, a real question mark around the Senate, particularly based on who's up for re-election, both houses, both chambers of Congress, the House and Senate, could come down to just a few elections. And that's why everybody must vote. I know I'm a broken record with this at this point. You look at Adam Frisch versus Lauren Boebert in Colorado. 550 votes was what saved Lauren Boebert in 2022. 550 votes going the other way could actually determine, do Democrats control the House of Representatives? What happens with George Sanktos's seat from New York in the House of Representatives? Could determine who ultimately controls the House of Representatives. So I don't say this every year. In 2012, I wasn't coming to you all with tears in my eyes saying this is the most important election of our lifetime. I supported Obama over Romney, but Romney was not going to threaten and jeopardize democracy as we know it. You could have a situation in January of 2025 where Republicans control the White House, the House, and the Senate. Or you could have a situation in January 2025 where Democrats control the White House, the House, and the Senate, or some combination thereof. This is genuinely one of the most important elections I remember ever covering. 2020 was as well. We got past it, barely. And now we have 2024. I hope everybody's registered. I hope everybody's planning to vote.